Welcome back to Finnerty. For more on the tragedy in New Orleans and tomorrow's looming speakership vote, we are joined now by Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Mr. Speaker, nice to see you. Happy New Year.
Hey, Rob, great to see you. Happy New Year.
So Louisiana is your home state. My wife, born and raised there. My in-laws are in Metairie right now. My father-in-law, an attorney down in New Orleans. I know you spoke with Alejandro Mayorkas a day ago. How concerned are you about the FBI being transparent with the American people about what really is going on down there?
It's a concern. You know, our Attorney General is Liz Murrill, who you know, and she is a bulldog, and she was expressing her concerns early this morning that they had not been completely forthcoming with her. I talked late last night to Governor Jeff Landry, my good friend, and he was really expressing the urgency of close coordination between federal and state law enforcement and the investigators. And then I spoke very late last night with Attorney General Merrick Garland, and he gave me his assessment, told me that they were dispatching, armies of FBI agents there to help. But we have got to get answers. We have to do it efficiently, and they have to do it transparently, because that's what the American people demand and deserve, and that's what's needed in a moment like this. We've got to secure the sense of safety, and we need to have full confidence in those involved. So we're calling upon them. We're exerting every pressure we can from Congress to make sure that happens. We had confidential briefings earlier today. They're keeping us apprised, but there are many more questions right now than answers, and that's disconcerting to all of us.
Should this have been prevented?
Well, I think so. Look, it feels like a very reactive kind of response, and we've known for a long time that an act like this was probably imminent. I've criticized the Biden administration all day long after this event took place, because for I think 4 years, they had their eye off the ball. They tried to convince the American people that radical racial extremism was our number one concern, when obviously terrorism always is, and especially when you have an open border. So there may not be a direct correlation with this, but it seems to us that these things, we're in an enhanced threat environment, and we have to be proactive at the local, state, and federal level to prevent this kind of stuff from happening.
Okay. Big day tomorrow for you. Are you ready?
We're ready. Look, I think we're going to get this done. Everybody here in the House Republican Conference understands the necessity of the moment, the urgency of the hour. They know we don't have time for games and palace intrigue. We've got a lot of very important work to do. We have to deliver on the America First agenda. We got a mandate in the election. President Trump got 77 million votes, and House Republicans almost 75 million. That was a record for us. And that's a message that we've got to stick together. And if we stay unified, no matter how small our margin, and it'll be probably the smallest in U.S. history for a short period, we got to get this done, and I think we will.
You can afford to lose one vote and still retain the gavel tomorrow. What is your message to members in the Republican conference that are still on the fence about voting for you tomorrow? To me, it's time to get things done for the American people.
That's it in summary. And the good news is that we're shifting into a totally new paradigm. Everybody's frustrated, as am I, of what we had to do for the last 2 years. We only had control, very narrow control, of 1/3 of the federal government, remembering that liberal progressive Democrats were in charge of the White House and the Senate. So we didn't get everything we wanted or thought was necessary, but that's what happens in divided government. Now, however, though, Rob, we're starting the new year with a new majority, unified government. We have the White House, the Senate, and the House. And so it's on us. We're in a lawmaking phase now. We got to stick together and advance this agenda. So I think we will. I think everybody understands the necessity of that and the promise of what really can be the new golden age in America. President Trump talks about that all the time. I was with him at Mar-a-Lago just yesterday, he and I and the Vice President-elect, J.D. Vance, and we talked about the agenda and the sequence of the play calls and all of that. We're excited. Everybody's excited. We're ready to deliver, and we got to stick together to do that.
60% of your conference, remarkably high number, has never dealt with unified government. So in 17 days, I'm not sure they realize how good it's going to be for Republicans, having both the House, the Senate, and then having Donald Trump right down the road in the White House. And I think some people might need to be reminded of that fact. I'm wondering, have you had conversations with everyone who might still be on the fence, the holdouts? Last night we had Rich McCormick on, Georgia congressman, and he said that you two hadn't connected yet.
Yeah, it's been a busy week away. I mean, I was on the phone nonstop throughout the holiday. Rich and I will connect today. There's a small handful of guys who have, good suggestions about process reforms and things we can do differently when we have that majority in all three levers of power. They know that I'm open to that. I mean, I'm a proven fighter, a MAGA conservative, but to be speaker right now, you also have to be those things and someone who can work with every single member of our very diverse House GOP conference. And so I have that ability. We will get everyone together, rowing in the same direction, and we will deliver for the American people. We have no margin for error.
When was your last conversation with Thomas Massie?
Probably a week and a half ago. Well, before we left town for Christmas, so it had been December 20th. Look, Thomas is a friend. I respect him. We have difference of opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I have 220 colleagues here on the Republican side, and we got to move together. I mean, we don't have any option. You know, the principle that we try to advance here is that no one's ever asked to compromise core principles, core ideals or beliefs, but we have to compromise on occasion our preferences because that's the nature of a deliberative body like ours. So we're never going to get everything we want. We have 435 colleagues here in this chamber, and it's a messy situation sometimes, the sausage making. But we are going to do that in an effective and efficient manner because we have to.
Yes.
We got to fix everything, and we're ready to go.
Does Ukraine funding pause if you are reelected as Speaker?
All the Ukraine funding is done. There's no new request on the table because we are waiting for our new commander-in-chief, President Donald J. Trump, to take office. And you know he's going to shake up the dynamic of that whole thing. And we expect it could be resolved very quickly. He's already inserted his views in that. And that's a great change that's coming. We're going to exert peace through strength again, and that's necessary.
Peace through Trump, right, Mr. Speaker? I want to ask you about the rules package tomorrow. So the House is going to vote on getting the McCarthy rule, the motion to vacate, out of there. This is what you are Speaker because of this rule. Do you expect this to pass the House? Basically, it means that if one person doesn't like what you're doing, they can hold a vote to try and get rid of the Speaker. And 8 Republicans joined with Matt Gaetz a year and a half ago, and they were effective in doing that.
Yeah, they were. The simple change in the rules package will be raising the threshold from a single member to 9 that have to join together. So you would have to have 8 people join another to bring the motion itself. And that does raise the threshold. I think it'll make it more workable. We have to be able to govern, and whomever is the Speaker can't have the sort of Damocles just hanging above their head like that. So I think I don't expect a lot of Democrats are going to join us on this rules package. That's not normally how that works. But I think the Republicans will stand together and we'll get the job done.
What time is this vote tomorrow, Mr. Speaker?
Well, Congress convenes at noon, and it's a brand new day in America, brand new day in the 119th Congress, and we'll be making history tomorrow. And I believe it'll be smooth on our side after all the drama, and we will begin our work immediately. So we're looking forward to delivering for the people.
Yeah, on behalf of the American people, I hope so. Mr. Speaker, we appreciate you making time for us. Good luck to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Great to see you.
All right, you too.